Hi everyone, you are watching Turn to the Stars, and my name is Andrea Klim, and today is Wednesday, September 12th, as I'm recording the show, and I'm going to be talking about the new moon in Virgo that we just experienced, and also about the autumn equinox and the full moon that's coming up on the 24th of September. And you're probably noting that the energy is much different in September than it was in August. During August, due to the retrogrades, lots of people felt a little bit stuck, to say the least. September will feel different because none of the personal planets will be retrograde. Mars is in Aquarius, and it's strong because it is square to Uranus. You've heard me talking about that in past shows. And squares are, they really encourage hard work and bring challenges, and a lot of growth and realizations happen during those squares. And so we could, because Uranus is in Taurus, we could experience some sudden, intense earth changes, and we really should be aware and alert to those because this energy continues till the end of September. But I did want to say that August did encourage us to reevaluate, review, and go back to correct things that needed to be corrected, that needed to be reviewed, that needed to be revised. So it was an important time, but it did feel like we were stuck because it was, retrograde planets typically slow us down so that we can see what we missed the first time through. From about the 9th, which was the new moon in Virgo through the 22nd of September, we also have Venus in Scorpio squaring Mars in Aquarius. And so this could indicate possibility for relationship opportunities. I just wanted to add that little component. I'll talk about that more as I proceed with the show. September 9th was the new moon that we just had in Virgo, and it was at 17 degrees. And what it did is, new moons give us the ability to set new intentions. And at that time we had 7 planets in Earth. We had the Sun, we had the Moon, we had Mercury, all 3 in Virgo, Saturn in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus. And so the energy was very much about, and this is what Virgo brings in, is cleansing, cleaning things up, detox, health, healing, a lot of attention on, finding good health, finding cleaner circumstances. It gives us the ability and supports us to clean up our diet. But, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so it would also bring into the focus our minds and our way of thinking. And so this new moon does present a great opportunity for healing on so many levels. And it also, which another part that is emphasizing the healing, is that Chiron was in square to Saturn on this new moon. So what that indicates is if we put some work into self-healing, that we should be able to overcome some of the challenges where we're finding that we're injured or hurt or have pain. One of the things that we can be reminded of is that we did have Jupiter in Scorpio and Neptune in Pisces in that really nice trine, which, Jupiter makes things bigger, and so dreaming bigger, bigger visions. And Neptune brought in a sense of unlimited possibilities. So whatever you're dreaming of, whatever your visions are, these 2 planets support. It's like a gift from the universe of energy that supports us to achieve our dreams and our visions. This energy does support us to move toward our dreams, and that there is unlimited possibilities, and we should remember that. We've also had the grand trine between Saturn and Capricorn, and now we had Mercury in Virgo, and Uranus in Taurus. So that's a grand trine in Earth, which is a very creative type of energy. So Mercury would have our minds involved with our ideas, and Uranus would bring in those genius inventions and genius ideas, and Saturn and Capricorn in that whole grand trine of Earth would help us to ground, manifest our ideas and to bring them to fruition. So, astrology is truly, when we look at a chart, it's a description of our inner psyche, our potentials, our experiences. It shows what we're expressing energetically and how we're attracting experiences to us. So what I'm talking about today is a universal chart. So its potentials and tendencies are, this chart is also a description of the outer tendencies of what's around us. So it does affect us in some way, each of us differently, but I did want to explain what astrology is. It's the world around us affecting the world within us, and the world within us is connecting into the world around us. So moving forward, I did want to talk about the full moon that's coming up on September 24th. It's going to be in the sign of Aries, and there's an ongoing square between Mars and Uranus, which I talked about in the beginning of the show, and it comes to its third square, exact square, on September 18th. And this is strongly correlated with earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, eruptive energy. So if you have any planets in the first 3 degrees of any of the fixed signs, it will be important. So if you look at your chart and you see any planets in any of the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, these are going to be areas that will be shaken up for you, either consciously, or you'll find that you have to change something because it's very, very necessary. And it may help you to understand that this is going on so that you can accept it a little easier, especially the fixed signs who don't like change, so that you're not so surprised by this energy. And by the 19th of September, the moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, and later in the day, it's going to be conjunct Mars, and so it brings to light the Mars squaring Uranus, and then we have the full moon that's developing, and it's shining a light on that Mars squaring Uranus. So this could cause some intense feelings, very, very intense feelings, and we'd want to think twice about our actions before moving or proceeding. Around the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, we have some very strong planetary influences. As I was talking about earlier, we also have Venus in square to Mars. Venus is in Scorpio, which is a fixed sign, which is, Venus is the love, the glue that binds us together, but it's also relationships and affection and intimacy. And when it's in square to Mars, it says that we're doing some work on achieving what we desire. And, Venus is also opposite Uranus. So if Venus is in your 5th, your 7th, or your 11th houses, these are considered the relationship houses. This can suddenly bring in a new relationship into your life, or there is the possibility that you could revive an old relationship. This continues to about the 22nd of September, this energy that I'm describing. So this is like a period of growth and unexpected things coming out of nowhere because of the opposition with Venus to Uranus. September 22nd is the autumn equinox, and it occurs here in Florida at exactly 9:55 p.m. That's the time when the sun moves into Libra. This time, of the year with the equinoxes and the solstices, really do create a tone for the next 3 months as the sun is moving into a cardinal sign, which is Libra. Libra is the sign of balance, harmony, relationship, and balance and equality. And the sun aligns with the Earth's equator at that time, and it creates a drop in the magnetic field for the Earth, and that's what allows us to access higher levels of information intuitively, psychically. We feel, especially those of us who are really sensitive. So if you're sensitive and you have a planet between 0 to 2 degrees of any cardinal sign, which is Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, or you have a planet that's between 28 degrees of any of the mutable signs, which are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, 28 degrees to 0 of any cardinal sign, any of these mutable signs. What I'm trying to say is if you have a planet that is close to any of these degrees, what it does is it tends to throw that planet out into the public stage in some way. So whatever planet it is, whether it's the sun, which is your identity, or it's the moon, which is your emotions and your feelings, in some way you're going to be recognized for in regards to that planet and the area it is in your chart. Events happening at this time will become big events. We'll have a stream of higher consciousness all around us. Now, the sun is on what we call the world axis and aspecting the super galactic center at the same time on the autumn equinox. So the reason we should talk about this is because the full moon on September 24th is at 1 degrees and 58 minutes of Aries, which is within the 2-degree orb of cardinal signs. So occurring here on the east coast of the U.S., it is actually happening at 10:03 p.m. That is the exact time of the full moon, as my chart shows on the universal chart for Mount Dora, Florida. And that full moon is very close to the equinox, and the sun and the moon, and right next to the moon is Chiron, are opposite, and they're squaring Saturn. So we've got sun opposite moon, dictates a full moon, but we've got Chiron right next to that full moon, and we've got Saturn and Capricorn in a square to this full moon. This means there is potential for big events publicly in some way, and we may feel these strong events on the earth, with the earth. And on the equinox, we also have Pluto and Uranus angular to each other. And I was listening to some other astrologers talk about the location astrology, relocation astrology, and they were saying that the central southern states of America have the potential for some intensely sudden storms, which will probably bring about, really raise some havoc. So everybody, please be safe during this time. The cardinal square on this full moon that I was just talking about indicates some powerful political eruptions could also occur. So the full moon does bring things to a head. And the interesting thing, when you think about Aries, Aries is a primal, heated fire sign. And so it will inspire emotional heat, so to speak, or emotional eruptions are possible. Something will come to closure also. You know, a full moon does bring full light to everything. It brings things to fruition. So if there's something that is occurring or emotionally affecting you up to this time, this is the time where it may erupt. Or, you know, just you really get the full realization and understanding of yourself and where the healing can happen. So the moon is in Aries on this full moon. The sun is in Libra. So it will very much affect relationships. And this full moon brings and inspires fast, self-oriented actions, as I was talking about before. The sun in Libra will ask for balance. It'll ask for equality. But the square to Saturn will test relationships. Saturn is very much a planet that tests us to do the right thing, or tests us to take responsibility and to learn and grow. So, as I said before, Libra involved in this T-square will bring up topics of inequality, and they can be highlighted on this full moon, either globally or personally. So be aware of that also. And please remember, solutions can be discovered due to the Saturn trine Uranus, because that's is a very inspiring angle. Uranus is awakening. Saturn is, you know, doing the work and realizing the patterns. So there's patterns of opportunity also available to us. And I would remind you to be very careful and step backward around the time of the full moon if you're feeling the fires inspired by the full moon, the inner fire, you know, the emotional fires, or the more self-focused energy, because Aries is all about the self. So people may feel more inspired to or influenced to act on behalf of their self before thinking about their partner. So just wanted you to be aware of that. So I want to wish you a wonderful full moon in Aries and autumn equinox. And remember, turn to the stars and you'll find your answers there. Until next time, take good care, and I'll see you then.